Today we have a very special guest with us to talk about her first book, Reina's Prophecy, the author Radhika Philip. I would love to know as to how did you come and write such an inspirational book such as this?
It came into being several different forces at the same time. Myself personally, I was not in the best of places. It was 2010, the country was very much just post-conflict, as it were, and the recovery process was, I think, traumatic. I volunteered in the North, so I guess I saw certain things that made me question what human beings can do to each other. And also, like I said, I wasn't in a good place. And one day I saw a crow make friends with my baby and talk to my baby. And it started from there, me questioning what more there was than that we know and what we've been socialized to think in a particular way. That's where it came from. It's a different place. I can't explain it. It was something bigger than me. I started to see the beauty in the smallest of things, the interactions between animals and humans, and also animals and animals within different species. And I thought there was something really magical in that. And I thought about it a lot, would be the understatement, until I had a story in mind. I couldn't stop the story, actually.
Is there any particular character that you gravitate to?
I'm very fond of all of those characters. There's some of my best imaginary friends. I love Magenta the Crow.
Yeah.
I like Gustav the German Shepherd.
Gustav.
Many of the characters. I can't pick a favorite. It wouldn't be fair.
So this is the first time that a publishing giant like Harper Collins has come to Sri Lanka to launch a book authored by Sri Lankan. How does it feel?
It came about that traditional Sri Lankan way of calling up someone you know and asking if they know someone who knows someone who knows someone. I have publishing houses don't take unsolicited manuscripts from anyone because I guess they're inundated. You have to come in through a literary agent. So I called a friend of mine in India because I knew that all the major publishing houses were positioned in India rather, and asked him if he knew anyone who was a literary agent. He did. I met the literary agent shortly thereafter. He signed me on, and then he passed the manuscript to Harper Collins and Penguin. And I had an immediate connection with the commissioning editor of Harper Collins, and she really fought for the integrity of the book. And she told me there'd never be any forced cuts or edits; that it would always be the integrity of the book would be preserved. And so that's why I went with Harper Collins, and they've been fantastic. They made it a much better book, I would say, through the process. So.
Okay. Well, my favorite part of the book is the beginning of the book when you ask the question, why? Because this is the first time actually I've encountered such an opening for a book, and it really got me hooked from there. I was wondering if there is any particular part of the book that is your favorite or would indicate your message.
Okay, great. Well, I chose a couple of chapters based on, I think that is where the underlying theme of the book, which is kindness and empathy towards all creatures and within each other, our own relationships, a little bit more kindness in the world, I think is what I was looking for when I wrote it. So based on that, I picked two paragraphs. One is Magenta. Magenta is the crow, the most famous crow in all the world. And Reina, obviously, at this stage was an infant, so that's where the story is going to come from. The next afternoon, Magenta tried again to impart her wisdom. She knew she had to proceed slowly until the infant's learning skills were honed to a level that could absorb the details required. However, she was under a directive to answer any question Reina asked of her, and was finding it tiresome that they were still stuck on boring humans interacting within a house, when there was an entire world waiting to be conquered. I don't mean to sound like a cliché, little one. The whole man's greed debate has been dragging on for so long, even humans are discussing it now. I would say it is more about valuing each other's territories and ways of life. It is that very lack of respect that is causing so much pain and suffering, not just to the animals, but also to the humans who cause the problems in the first place.
I noticed that you pay a lot of attention to detail in your book. And this is the first part of
a trilogy.
A trilogy that will come in the future as well. Now you were saying something about having details incorporated and you couldn't stop writing.
Yeah.
Because there were so many details involved.
I've cut 200 pages from the book, so you can imagine the level of detail. Too much detail.
You do talk a lot about different cultures and races and religions in this book and about our history. I was wondering, where do you see, as an author, where Sri Lanka would be in 10 years' time?
Hopefully, I think in a much better place. I see in the last few years, I've seen tremendous progress. As much as we tend to hold each other back as Sri Lankans as well, it's a cultural, social aberration as such, but also I really do see a lot of progress. I mean, just not only visually, but within cultures and villages. And I do try to travel a lot, and in my experience at LT Magazine, we do get off the map as much as possible. And the magazine has done well simply because of the hospitality and goodwill of Sri Lankans. And that is something that nobody really knows about in the West. And that's, I mean, I think Sri Lankans are extremely hospitable, extremely generous spirited people who welcome you into their home and give you everything they have if they possibly could. I see that a lot, you know, especially amongst the less fortunate, let's just say. And so that's a really humbling experience, and I see tremendous potential for Sri Lanka. I always have. This country breaks all the records in so many things, from wildlife statistics to natural resources. We have it all, so it's just a matter of how we choose to position ourselves and what we want to do to make the most of it.
Okay, Radhika, it's an absolute honor to have you come and speak with us and talk about your book. I would like to remind the viewers that this book is obviously a must-read. I enjoyed it myself, and it will be released worldwide on the 28th. So thank you, and good luck for your future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.